Hello, I'm Bernie Norcott-Mahany. I work at the Kansas City Public Library and also at Johnson County Community College. Through the month of April, I have been, over the past few years, I've been reading poems aloud. Poetry is meant to be heard, and posting it on YouTube. This year, I decided that I would read poems from World War I. And today's poem is a poem by a gentleman named Herbert Read. Read lived a fairly long life. He was born in 1893 and died in 1968. He was an anarchist, and he was a poet and an art critic. He was one of the first English writers to take note of the existential movement. And he has the poems that I've seen of his are fairly long. He's done some little, some are actually like mini dramas. This poem is one of sort of a pair of poems, this one called Meditation of a Dying German Officer, and then there's a sort of companion piece, Meditation of a Waking English Officer. But so this is a fairly long poem. The speaker is a German officer who is dying. Ich sterbe. Life ebbs with an easy flow, and I've no anguish now. This failing light is the world's light. It dies like a lamp flickering for want of oil. When the last jump comes and the axe-head blackness slips through flesh that welcomes it with open but unquivering lips, then I shall be one with the unknown, this nothing which Heinrich made his argument for God's existence, a concept beyond the mind's reach. But why embody the unknown? Why give to God anything but essence, intangible, invisible, inert? The world is full of solid creatures. These are the mind's material. These we must mold into images, idols to worship and obey. The Father and the flag and the wide empire of our creative hands. I have seen the heart of Europe send its beating blood like a blush over the world's pallid sphere, calling it to one life, one order, and one living. For that dream I've given my life, and to the last fought its listless enemies. Now chaos intervenes, and I leave not gladly, but with harsh disdain, a world too strong in folly for the bliss of dreams. I fought with gladness. When others cursed the day, this stress was loosed, and men were driven into camps to follow with wonder, woe, or base delirium, the voiceless yet incessant surge that I exulted. But with not more than a nostril's distension, an eager eye, and fast untiring step. The first week I crossed the fatherland to take my place in the swift-winged swoop that all but ended the essay in one wild and agile venture. I was bloodied then, but the wound seared in the burning circlet of my spirit served only to temper outrage, to temper courage with scorn of action's outcome. Blooded but not beaten, I left the ranks to be a leader. 4 years I have lived in the ecstasy of battle. The throbbing of guns, growing yearly, has been drum music to my ears, the crash of shells, the thrill of cymbals, bayonets, fiddlers' bows, and the crack of rifles, plucked harp strings. Now the silence is unholy. Death has no deeper horror than diminishing sound. Ears that strain for the melody of action hear only the empty silence of retreating life. Darkness will be kinder. I die. But still I hear a distant gunfire stirring in my ear like a weary, humming nerve. I will cling to that sound and on its widening wave lapse into eternity. Heinrich, are you near? Best friend, but false to my faith, would you die doubtfully with so calm a gaze? Mind above battles, does your heart resign love of the fatherland in this hour of woe? No drum will beat in your dying ears, and your God will meet you with a cold embrace. The void is icy. Your abstraction freezes the blood at death. No calm bound in such a barren law. The bond between two human hearts is richer. Love can seal the anguished ventricles with subtle fire and make life end in peace. In love, the love we shared in all this strife. Heinrich, your God has not this power, or he would heal the world's wounds and create the empire now left in the defeated hands of men. At Valenciennes, I saw you turn swiftly into an open church. I followed, stood in the shadow of the aisle, and watched you pray. My impulse then was to meet you in the porch and test my smile against your smile, my peace against yours, and from your abashment pluck a wilder hope. But the impulse died in the act. Your face was blank, drained of sorrow as of joy, and I was dumb before renunciation's subtler calm. I let you pass, and into the world went to deny my sight, to seal my lips against the witness of your humble faith. For my faith was action, is action now. In death I triumph with a deed and prove my faith against your passive ghost. Faith in self comes first. From self we build the web of friendship, from friends to confederates, and so to the state. The web has a weft in the land we live in, a town, a hill, all that living eyes traverse. There are lights given by the tongue we speak, the songs we sing, the music and the magic of our fatherland. This is a tangible trust. To make it secure against the tempers of inferior minds, to build it in our blood, to make our lives a tribute to its beauty, there is no higher aim. This good achieved, then to God we turn for a crown on our perfection. God we create in the end of action, not in dreams. God dies in this dying light. The mist received my spent spirit. There is no one to hear my last wish. Already my thoughts rebound in a tenement whose doors are shut. Strange muscles clench my jaws. These limbs are numb. I cannot lift a finger to my will. But the mind rises like a crystal sphere above the rigid wreck, is poised there, perhaps to fall into the void, still dreaming of an empire of the West. And so still feels no fear. Mind triumphs over flesh, ordering the body's action in direst danger. Courage is not born in men, but born of love of life and love of giving, love of this hour of death, which all love seeks. I die, but death was destined. My life was given, by death ordained, when first my hand held naked weapons in this war. The rest has been awaiting for this final hour. In such a glory I could not always live. My brow falls like a shutter of lead, clashes on the clenched jaw. The curtain of flesh is wreathed about these rigid lines in folds that have the easy notion of a smile. So let them kiss earth and acid corruption, extinction of the clod. The bubble is free to expand to the world's confines or to break against the pricking stars. The last lights shine across its perfect crystal, rare ethereal glimmer of mind's own intensity. Above the clod all things are clear, and what is left is petulant scorn, implanted passions, everything not tensely ideal. Blind emotions wreck the image with their blundering wings. Mind must define before the heart intrigues. Last light above the world, wavering in the darkest void of nothing, how still and tenuous, no music of the spheres, and so break with a sigh against the ultimate shores of this world. So finite, so small. Nicht.